in the car, it was registering 108. So it was warm.
I can remember driving from Las Vegas to LA in May one year, and I thought the air conditioner in my daughter's car broke because it was so hot in the car until we passed over some of the mountains. Then it worked again. And the same thing when we went back. It just couldn't deal with that heat.
Yeah. Well, I actually don't mind the heat. We were hiking mountains at, well, we'd start out at 80 degrees and then it just climbed to 100. And we were hiking for 6 hours straight uphill with 20-pound packs. Carry all your water. That was my idea of fun.
Sound like fun.
On the other hand, I've seen things, the vistas, the views, it's unbelievable. Whether it's above ground, like on mountains, or in the Carlsbad Caverns, which is 1,000 feet underground.
I've been to Carlsbad Caverns.
Yeah. Excellent. It's really quite the view. We're almost there, I guess, huh?
I think it was in France that I went to some caverns where there was a river in them. We took a river cruise or just a little boat ride within the caverns. But there were also points where the two stalagmites and stalactites coming from either end met in the middle.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have at least two of those like that cavern, big ones. Totem pole is one of them.
I know, they almost look like shark's teeth after a while.
Well, coming down the stalactites from the ceiling, they call it the chandelier. There's so many of them. It's kind of a famous composition of stalactites.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I was rafting the Rio Grande, and we crossed over into Mexico, and we hiked up a few of the canyons. We didn't get caught, and we didn't run into any gangs or cartels.
No cartel members, no federales.
Yeah.
I would have called Craig, help!
Well, hello, everyone.
Hi, Doug.
Hey, everyone. We all here ready to go?
I think we are. Do we have Peggy?
Peggy's not here yet, yeah. Anybody plans on going to Big Bend National Park? I can give you some pointers.
Hey, there were some fabulous photos you shared with us.
Yeah, I put quite a few on my Facebook page.
I particularly enjoyed that cave. Wow. The cave was like magic.
What'd she say?
It's a good thing they have an elevator. When you get down to the bottom, you don't want to walk back up.
Oh, no. Well, let's
You're coming
another
in kind of
minute or
close.
two and then we'll start.
Yeah.
Peggy will join us in a few moments.
Well, perhaps we should begin and let Peggy catch up, all right? Okay, we'll call the meeting to order at 5:04. Linelda, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, Commissioner Shoemaker,
Present?
Commissioner David,
Present.
Vice Mayor Bobby,
Present.
Mayor Hillman,
Present.
Town Manager Labadie,
Present.
Town Attorney Tercivia,
Present.
and Finance
Yeah,
Director.
I'm in. Thanks. Here.
Thank you.
Okay, shall we rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
Allegiance.
to the flag.
To the flag.
of the United
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Need the approval of the agenda. If there are no additions or deletions, we need a motion to accept the agenda as it stands.
I move we accept the agenda as presented.
I will second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Obviously none opposed. Let's move on to the presentation of the operating budget.
All right, Mayor, thank you. This is a presentation we've seen on multiple occasions. I'll just kind of move through this quickly, kind of hitting the highlights. For those that may have not seen or heard the presentation. Again, we're looking at a slight decrease in the debt service millage. If Tricia, you got that up, you just keep motoring and go to first slide here. So basically, we're a slight debt millage decrease, or overall our millage rate staying the same, just a slight decrease on the debt side. So our total does come down 0.0119 mils, which generates additional tax growth of $173,570. As we have the budget currently proposed, we will pledge the use of reserves, unassigned reserves in the amount of $207,755. And our one year-over-year biggest increase in our budget, as we all understand, is the fire budget. Salaries and benefits are covered with the budget for the collective bargaining agreements. Those will be coming to us for ratification next Tuesday. And our roof town hall replacement is under a bid process now. We should have numbers here shortly. And we have the crosswalk project, as we know, is under construction. Moving forward a little bit, next slide, please. Here are some of the things that are interesting. You know, we talked about revenues being slightly down about 20% based on the COVID impacts. We'll see a significant drop in interest earnings, and then the COVID impacts. So luckily, we've been able to offset with one-time revenues, which is the true-up process through the fire budget, along with the waste management dollars that we received. General fund expenditures slightly below the budget. This is kind of our mid-year. We're estimating at this current time that we'll see a net increase or net position increase similar to last fiscal year with this current open fiscal year of about $300,000. So that's good news that we've been able to hold those in checks. Most of that surplus was generated by the two one-off sources of revenues. Year-end surplus, again, will continue to help us moving forward into next year, where we're pledging 207. You see that our net position of 300, we're in a good spot where basically our reserves will stay static, will increase slightly. So next slide. And again, this is what we're looking at today when we do the millage rate. Our total combined millage rate will be 3.7878 mils, which is a slight decrease of 0.019, but it is a 1.66% increase over the millage rollback rate, which we all understand. Basically, the difference is the growth, property growth of 2.5%. Next slide. that shows our assessed value. We're just going to move through these slides unless I see somebody jump off the screen at me to slow it down multiple times. Next, our tax rate, again, remain the 5th lowest. You'll see that of your total tax bill, Highland Beach is 22% of its total. So all their taxes that you pay on your tax bill that you get from the county, we only collect 22% of it, or are responsible for 22% of it. You'll see that the county gets 28, county schools 41%, and special districts 10%. Next slide. Again, those are all of the revenues that you have in the budget book that you have in your hands. That's also posted online for anybody that's looking to read the details of our budget book. That is there. It's a lengthy document. If you need a paper copy, please contact Town Clerk Linelda, but that is posted on our website. Next. Of our revenues, ad valorem property taxes is our #1 source, and will be for the foreseeable future our #1 source. Next. There's our expenditures, and you see the changes again. The one year-over-year increase, largest is the fire department. We went through those details in our 2 budget workshops. Next slide. Expenditures, again, fire rescue 38.8%, police 21.1%. So that represents roughly 60% of our budget is our public safety operations. The rest of us kind of fall into those smaller slices operationally. Next. General fund expenditures. There you go, kind of categorically. We've seen that before. Biggest decrease, I guess, then would be the deferment of a police vehicle and a few other capital projects that we were able to look over a 5-year period, really showing the value of a 5-year capital planning process. Is you really could slot expenditures more in a more exacting fashion than just unloading year over year. Next slide. General fund, there's the unassigned. So if we anticipate what we're looking at with the assignment or pledging of 207,755, and then we're anticipating a net increase in our position to the unassigned by 300,000. So you'll see a slide similar to this next year where our reserves are all in the same position. Next slide. Again, there's unassigned. Next year, we'll probably be looking again at right around a 50 to 52% unassigned fund balance. Next. Building budget is balanced. Again, this is our first full year showing it completely as that special revenue fund as is required by statute. They're in good position. I sent you today some additional reports on the permit volumes and fees. We're tracking quite well on the revenue side, and expenditures are matched. Next slide. Discretionary sales tax. Again, the big things we're looking at is crosswalks. We have a town hall renovations, a couple small ones left. Most of that went to the tempered glass in all of our face-to-face operational areas of town hall, library, public works to kind of protect us moving forward. You'll see some new street signs pop up now that the logo has been selected. So some of those more fatigue signs will be replaced with a newer logo and font chosen you guys had chosen on the new street signs. And those will be throughout the town. Those were expenditures anticipated, and the crosswalks. And then next year, the roof, and then any kind of overlay or roll over with the crosswalks projects. Next. Water fund balanced. We did increase the rates by the 3%, and as we will kick off on the 15th is our detailed review of our rate structure. So here again, it's balanced water fund. Next. Same with the sewer fund. These are the same numbers you've seen multiple times. The sewer fund is balanced and in a strong position. Next. Again, we saw that net position growth. Remember, $552,000 from that closed fiscal year. Again, we're anticipating 300,000 on the current fiscal year, which we'll see the final numbers in the spring when we get through the audit process. Next. Here's our capital projects that I just went over. So those are all moving along and in the preparation stages of approval of the budget, and we will move forward with those outside of the ones that we're currently engaged in. Next. Again, crosswalks, we're going to continue the strategic planning process. We'll jump into a little bit of values and mission statement to tie down that plan, along with the, as you see in there, the action plan components. I'm trying to draft up something there for staff to use with their assigned responsibilities for these priorities, and then that allow the commission and the community to know how we're tracking. Almost kind of, I wish we had a more robust ability to do a more of an online dashboard for projects, but you'll have an updated, like a PDF of month to month on how the project moves forward. So you can have that dashboard concept on priorities and projects so everybody can track as we're moving forward. Tomorrow, we're wrapping up with the televising of our sanitary sewer system. First half looked pretty promising, and we had some good news. We had some good news. We'll see how it all comes together and what the engineer's opinion is and what kind of project we're looking at. I'm always hopeful that it's a lower cost project than a higher cost project, especially as that relates to the water and sewer rate study, where we are anticipating about a $4 million project. We really don't know the final cost until we take a deep dive into that video. And then right now we are in the throes of implementing the ERP system with data conversion, with building going live here within a month. So we'll start to see the BS&A rollout starting with the building department and then getting into the financials. So we're really excited about that and some of the improved capabilities for financial reporting to the commission and the community. Next. And then that brings us today where we have those two resolutions we must pass, one for the millage rate, one's for the budget. And then we'll reconvene in 2 weeks to adopt the final millage and budget options for fiscal year 2021. I can answer any questions at this point.
Open to anybody that wants to jump in with a question or two.
No.
We've all seen this a number of times, so I don't know that there's anything new. If there are no questions, we'll just move on then. Once, twice, gone. Okay, thank you. The resolution number 20-016 for adopting the final millage rate is what is in front of us. And there's a statement here that I'm obligated to read, so bear with me. The proposed not to exceed operating millage rate set by the Town Commission of the Town of Highland Beach on July 21st, 2020 was 3.2294 mils. At this time, the town manager is proposing that the operating millage rate be tentatively set, that is tentatively set at 3.2294, and that the voted debt service millage rate be tentatively set at 0.5584 mils, for a total millage rate of 3.787 mils, which is estimated to generate general fund net revenues of $9,695,000, $345. This operating millage rate represents 1.66% increase over the rollback rate of 3.1767 mils, as was just presented. The public hearing is now opened. There were no comments from the public, so now the public hearing is now closed. Town commission was opened. There were no town commission discussions. So I now call for a motion to approve resolution number 20-016 to tentatively adopt the final millage rate. Is there a motion?
Yes, I move that we adopt resolution 20-016 as presented.
Is there a second?
Second motion.
I need a roll call for this motion to be adopted.
Commissioner David,
Yes.
Commissioner Shoemaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gossett-Seidman,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Bobby,
Yes.
and Mayor Hillman.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Question, Mayor?
Yes, go right ahead.
Do we have anybody watching citizens, taxpayers?
I would assume we do, but there's no way to know.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if we did have a count of some kind.
There was nobody that wanted to make public comments, so.
Okay.
Okay, we move on to resolution 20-017, which is adopting the final budget. Public hearing is now opened for that. It was advertised in conformance with the Florida statutes and the town ordinances. Public hearing is now open. There was nobody that noted that they wanted to comment, so the public hearing is now closed. Now we're open for discussion. Is there any discussion?
Comment?
Yes.
Well, I hope we have some taxpayers who are watching, but this is an important element of our responsibility, a budget and a tax rate. I just wanted to sum up some positives here that all taxpayers should know. Finally, after what seems like years, the crosswalk project is going to be resolved. That's in a small way, but also in a big way, a big step forward. I think having established over the last few months the priorities, that's also really important because it's something that we can share and people understand what we're doing and what's on the table and what the town manager has been asked to do, and that we can go through it together and understand our progress as we go through. So I think that's visible, it's measurable, it's a good way for everyone to understand that we're all in agreement and we're working together in lockstep. When it comes to risk, I think the sewers, that whole project is of some concern, but it looks like we do have some good news. I had a nice conversation with Finance Director Lala today, and it seems that after halfway through the process of inspecting, it seems like things are going well. But it may require a referendum anyway, and I think what is important is that we do not want to have a referendum delayed beyond March. I think given the importance of having our sewers working properly, lined properly, I think that we cannot afford having a referendum delayed until the following November, a year from now. So I'd like to ask, or at least emphasize the importance of getting this study done, getting the engineering back, and determining together as fast as we can that's practical and responsible, so that we can take steps to make sure this gets onto the March ballot for referendum, knowing it's going to be, whatever it is, more than $350,000. That's
All right, John, if I may, John, can I hold the discussion on that until we complete the budget discussion? And we can, until the end of this?
okay. I was just making observations overall on the budget, but we can hold that.
Okay, but we'll deal with that during this meeting. I just want to get the budget part completed, okay?
Okay, I'll wait further then.
Okay. Anything on the budget itself, though?
It's about how I think we're doing the right things. Having looked at it quite a bit, as we all have. So, and not beyond that.
Okay, thank you. Anything from anybody else on the budget before we move on? Okay. At this point then, I'll call for a motion to approve resolution number 20-017, adopting the final budget.
I move to approve resolution 20-017, adopting the final budget.
Is there a second?
Second,
We need a roll call vote on this as well, please.
Vice Mayor Bobby,
Yes.
Commissioner David,
yes.
Commissioner Shoemaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Gossip Sideman,
Yes.
Mayor Hillman.
Yes,
Motion carries. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, the date for the Town Commission special second public hearing, budget meeting, will be Tuesday, September the 22nd, also at 5:01. So mark your calendars accordingly, please. And now we will move on to individual reports and comments. We'll start with our town manager. Marshall?
I don't have any major comments. We have a big meeting next Tuesday, so everybody carve out that meeting. We'll have a lot to talk about when it comes to the sewer water rates study. It's relatively technical documents, so we'll have a lot of questions and ready for that. I also want to thank my department heads for the budget they put together. I think it looks good. Special thanks to Matt Lala. He makes me look good when we put these final details together. So I appreciate everything he's done, and Teresa for keeping me on course. So I'll keep it short tonight. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, and although it is not on the agenda and we didn't add it to it, I think it's only right to see if any commissioners want to add anything. So I'll just make it around real quickly. Peggy, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just to thank you for all the hard work by Matt Lala and our town manager, Marshall. And excuse me for being late, but we're having windows done at the house and internet was not.
Oh my goodness. Well, good luck with the window project.
So I do apologize for but thank you very much for everyone's hard work and my fellow commissioners.
You got it. Evelyn, anything?
Just to parrot Peggy, that I think everybody worked very hard. I think we kept our millage rate where it was, and I think we did a good job.
Absolutely. Okay, John, now you got the ball.
Hunt to John.
I guess I was a little ahead of myself. So again, I just leave off that with the sewers. Boy, we got to make sure that, we don't drag this, because however long it's been since 1949, we don't want to have a major break. That would cost us a lot more money than we would want to spend. So make on the schedule and the time frame, having March be really important for us as a achievement would be important. On the ERP system, the enterprise resource planning software that we have, I think what's really good about this as it affects the budget is that after the implementation is complete, we'll be able to get more timely and more accurate, probably, but at least more transparency in the status financially on a very timely basis, on a frequent basis. That is good not only for us, but for everybody. So that ERP system, I think, is superb as a step forward in transparency in government, and also will benefit our taxpayers as well. Actionable intelligence comes out of ERP, so that gives us, a way to learn what we need to do and the relative urgency of doing it. The other thing is that what's interesting is that as I looked at it, as everybody did, the police budget, police department went up 1.28%, fire rescue 7%. So now we know really where our key challenges are, which I think really wraps down around 3. The police department they've got a solid group, a solid team leader, and I think a solid budget with the right equipment and so forth. The water department and our water rates, clearly, that's something we're going to be addressing. It's a bit of an issue. And the PD, or the laterals and lining of the pipes, is still to be determined, but at least we're on top of it. And all 3, fire, water, and sewer, we're dealing with outside professional studies. And again, much of this information, I think, is summarizing really for taxpayers more than anybody. All of you know this. We got 3 major studies going on that is taking a comprehensive professional approach to understand the magnitude of the needs and requirements so we can go forward. not to say that in the case of water, we have good quality, you know, we have an independent supply. We're not dependent on anyone else in the other town. It's controlled by us. And of course, there have been major improvements done. So we have an investment there that we want to leverage. So those are my typical comments, I think, and just stepping back and taking a look at relative, what the priorities are and where we are strong and where the risks are. Overall, I think at least we have a good situational awareness, an understanding of what we're doing, what's on paper, what the numbers look like, and it all looks, I think, positive with some unknowns. And we're on top of the unknowns, unless there's something I'm missing. So those are my summary comments.
Great. Thank you. Greg, on to you.
No comments, Mayor.
Okay. And Glenn, never to forget Glenn.
No comments.
There yet. Okay. I'll just make one comment, brief. If you have not begun to tackle the water study, give yourself plenty of time. It is not an easy read. So, you got to go through it a couple of times. It's extremely well done, but I'll be redundant. It's not an easy read. So give yourself time when you tackle it. That's all. Okay. Thank you all. I think we've covered it. Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. Anything you want to add, Matt?
No, nothing to add.
Okay, we're good to go then. It is 5:31. We will adjourn. Thank you all. Short and sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.